Hey, this is Max. I am here with another CSR2 video. This is the first of the myth busting series because there are always questions asked online about things that may or may not be true. So on Facebook, one of the veteran posters, George, asked about the effects of regulation races on live matchmaking. So what he said is that regulation affects live matchmaking. It's at least his belief. So I'm going to do some testing to prove it one way or the other. So what I did here, as you just saw, I basically down-tuned the Viper ACR from a 13.8 dyno down to a 15 dyno. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run regulation races at full-blown speeds, meaning I'm running well under dyno. I'm dynoing about 15, but I'm going to run it around 13.8. And I'm going to see if I do this once or twice in regulation, then take the car into the live, whether it would affect live matchmaking. So here we go. We're going to do the quick runs in regulation first and run it all out. I am not holding back on this car. I am running it as fast as I can in the regulations. So here you see the regulation runs the dyno that is with full Evo. So with the downtune, I'm actually running it probably over a second under what dyno is saying. If the theory is correct that regulation races affect live matchmaking, what will happen by running it this way is I am going to bump myself when I go into live by quite a bit. This car has never been in live, so it's a fresh car, and going into live should give us a clear start as to where the game puts you in the matchmaking. My theory is that it probably wouldn't bump you because I've never noticed any map races affecting anything in live. I think they're on their two separate tracks as far as performance as a car is concerned. I would actually be kind of concerned if Natural Motion made it so that uh, map races can affect your live matchmaking because it could really screw up things in the game. They're just things that you do in map racing that shouldn't be considered in live, and vice versa. All right. So I did two races right there, full blown in regulations. Now what I'm going to do is going to go run this car in live, and let's see what happens when we first lobby in. Generally speaking, with a brand new car going into live for the first time, you should lobby very accurately to what your dyno says, if not a little bit slower. So these guys that are in this lobby should be running right around 15 something because that is what my dyno says I run. Okay, not 13.4, but actually 15s. So they should be running low or high 15s, I should say, 15.7, 15.6. I'm having a hard time getting these guys to. All right, so right now the game is locking me into this lobby. So this is the primary lobby. I'm gonna have to find somebody in here to race one way or the other. It looks like no bots, so I'm stuck waiting for one of these guys to become available. Here we go, novice 54624. Let's challenge him. No back arrow means no connection. Yep, disconnected right there. Probably an iOS user. Let me see if I can find. Oh, there we go. Xeonteo. Xeonte 13. Okay, so 5,000, no problem. So George, you owe me 5,000 more. Okay, I built the car for 2.5 million. Not really, but you owe me 5,000 if I lose this. In case you're watching this video. Anyway, if I am accurate about the impact of the regulation races not affecting live, I should be able to easily beat this guy since my car is down tuned to run 13s in a 15 lobby. So here I'm going to drive it without nitrous. I'm already well ahead of him. So that says he's not going to outrun me with that setup. So I'm going to start slowing down a bit. One of the things I don't like to do when I first go into any lobby is to run all out. Because what I believe is that your first few runs in a lobby will dictate your actual lobby in the future, at least initially. So 15.8, 15.8. Obviously, the game is giving me the down-tuned lobby matchmaking, not the actual time the car can run. So that means the two 13-second runs we did in regulation has no effect. And that's kind of what I expected. What I'm telling you though is if you're coming into a live lobby with the car and you know the car can beat dyno and you start running it all out, what you're doing is you're setting your lobby times with the game. So once you get into live and you start running 13.8, guess what? You're going to now move to a 13.8 lobby pretty quickly because live tracks what's going on versus regulation doesn't really care. If you're in live and you're running it all out all over the place, expect to be bumped very quickly. But the first time you bring a car into live, usually you're in a lobby that's one, favorable to you, and two, may even be slightly slower than what your car dynos. So you could beat the people in there pretty easily, and that's true of every new car, but don't run it all out. If you run it all out, you're going to get beat 5,000 more. Okay. He obviously thinks that my car's a lot slower than what it is. It's my turn to win this time. I said okay to swap. I didn't say I was going to give you every other run just to give you your money back. So I'm sorry, I'm probably going to end up taking another 5,000 of your money. All right. So again, no nitrous because I'm so down-tuned. I really don't need to be using nitrous. And I'm way ahead of him again. So again, I'm going to slow down. Maybe I should give him his money back. No. No, I'll keep it. It's only 5,000. He's not losing that much. If it's a 200K bet, I might have refused. I don't really want to beat the poor guy up for his money for no reason. So what do we got? Race me again. Okay. I don't think he understands what I'm doing. Obviously, I'm just kind of honoring my end of the bargain on the swaps by giving him every other race, but it just happens that on my turn to win, he's betting money. But that's okay. It's small money. He makes more from a win from me than he lost on a bet, so it's not a big deal. Okay, so again, I'm gonna give him this. See, he's keeping it slow. I'm not sure why he's doing. Maybe he's testing me. All right, I'm gonna slow down. Okay, he's getting this win, but I'm not gonna re-challenge him. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. But I think I already proven my point, at least at this point. Now, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna now leave live, right? So I just showed you it's 15-second live lobby. So the regulation races obviously didn't affect it on the initial entry to live. Now that I ran one or two live, I'm going to go back and run regulation again. I'm going to again run as hard as I can. Oh, not prize cup, regulation. I'm going to run regulation again as hard as I can with this car. And incidentally, this Viper ACR was a 5-star pull I got while pulling for that Camaro, and Donna trolled me with a 4-star ACR. I'm not complaining. It's a beautiful car with the color pattern that I like, blue and white stripes. So I'm not definitely not hurt about it. But it did take me 15 pulls to get the actual Camaro, which kind of sucked. Okay, so running all out, all out. 13.9. Okay. Right. So I just ran some live, right? So if the live tracking follows you back to regulation tracking, I just now defeated dyno by a ton. And therefore, when I go back in live, I should be bumped up by a ton. Mind you, even if you go back into live with any given car, your lobby is a bracket. It's never exactly the same as your dyno. So if you're on the lower end of the lobby, so for example, if you're on the slower end, you may very well run into cars. See, now the lobby's changed. Does this mean that I've been bumped up? I don't think so. Let me take on some challengers. But what I was about to finish to say is if you're if you're running faster than lobby, and even if you're in a lobby that is technically your dyno, there will be cars that'll run at least 2-3 tenths faster, and some that'll run 1 to 2 tenths slower. So don't be surprised when a car runs a bit faster than what you actually dyno. The lobbies actually have a bit of a range. So what normally gets you in trouble is if your car is running well past the range. For example, if the range is, let's say 10 to 10.3 and you're running 9.8, you should be in the 9.8 lobby and the computer will put you there. So that's something that you have to keep in mind. All right, so I'm running a Nissan. These guys, if tuned well, usually is right on the good end of the lobby and maybe a little bit faster than your average car. But again, I should be able to easily catch him if the lobby has not bumped to 13.8, and I do. Here I come, And I'm not even shifting into fifth. I'm just kind of pulling past him slowly but surely. Little little deceleration and keep it close. There it is. Again, this should be a 15, yep, 15.79 for him, 15.711 for me. Very close to the original lobby I was in. And once again, that means we did not get bumped. So at this point, I have to say the idea that regulation race would bump you into a faster live lobby is kind of busted. Um, I don't think it applies. I've never noticed it to apply, so I wanted to do this test, and I happened to pull this new car, so it was a perfect opportunity to test this out. Okay, so I wasn't able to connect with that player, so I'm just gonna jump back out. Okay, so get a little bit of extra reward here from playing, and I am gonna go back to talk a little bit about the actual card that I used. So, in my opinion, this doesn't work. So you're not going to get bumped playing regulation races. So you can use a down-tuned car. I only have 4 miles on this car just to show you that it is in fact a fresh car and not something I've been playing with for a while. And I didn't put all the fusions in either. I don't really need to. But let's look at our dyno again to verify where we should have been, okay, with this setting. See, I can tweak it a little bit here and there, but if you put it back to the full speed, it should have ran 13.5 and it was dynoing 15.49, but I was in a 15.8 lobby. And again, that's because you get advantages when it's in the beginning. So let me know what you think about all this. One of the other myth that I hear a lot about is basically ways to pull keys somehow can affect what you get. I'm looking into doing something on that. Um, there's so many theories, and mostly, in my personal experience, they're all not true. But without some actual keys to pull and doing some testing, you really can't say somebody else's method does not work. We all like it to work, but reality is these key pulls are what they are, and if you're not lucky, you're just not going to get them. All right, well, that ends this video. I hope you liked the video. Please leave comments, leave a like if you like it, subscribe to the channel, and thank you for watching.